as I sit out now on my deck of the house, I look at the trees blowing a little in the breeze, and I've seen them innumerable times, but somehow seeing the trees this time is a transcendent experience. I see how marvelous it is, and I think to myself, I've had these here all along, but have I really appreciated them? And the fact is that I have not.
Don't get to the end of your life and think to yourself, I've never actually looked at the trees. Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Alexis, for anybody who doesn't know. Welcome if you're new, or welcome back if you have been here before. I am the author of A Journey into Truth, Unveiling Life's Secrets for Truth Seekers. And this book talks all about the last 6 years of my life, the adventures I've been on, like going into the jungle and doing ayahuasca, and just my spiritual journey and some of the life lessons and philosophies I have learned from all of the teachers I've learned from. This book is now available for order on places like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over the place. The links are down below if you want to check that out. Now, here on Vibrate to Create, I talk about all things spiritual and metaphysical. I also talk about my own personal life experiences, the awarenesses I've come to because of those experiences. I make reaction videos to things like spiritual teachers, spiritual teachings, inspirational, motivational, and sometimes funny videos. And I also make entrepreneurial videos letting you guys know how to self-publish your own books. If you're interested in that kind of content, then click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified of when I post new videos so you never miss a video. Today, we are going to be reacting to, I'm sure you know because of the thumbnail, but I really wanted to react to, oh, it's already started. I really wanted to react to people aging and their tips for how to live a fulfilled life, and this is a lot of the themes and ideas in my book. So I kind of wanted to hear their perspective and their opinion. I love to learn from other people. I love to learn from other people's life experiences. That was really what my journey was about, was to go out and learn from people, real life experiences. Like, I learned from people who had been divorced, and people who had gone through struggles, and people who were homeless, and people who, you know, all these kinds of things. So, oh, my camera's about to die. Let me change the battery. We're back. So this one was very popular, apparently. There has been 25 million people who have seen this, and maybe it has affected their lives, maybe it's changed their lives in some ways, hopefully. So it's called Life Lessons from 100-Year-Olds. It's 13 minutes long, and it is on the channel Life Hunters, and all of the video links are down in the description. Alright, so let's watch this thing. Turn it up. And I gotta start screen recording.
I think I've done all that I wanted to do. As long as I can be helpful and keep going, that's the main thing. My name is Clifford, but call me Cliff Crozier, and I was born on 6th of September 1915. Makes me now 101. I was born in Birkenhead, in the Wirral, Cheshire. Apart from the war and the time I was at...
I sit down in my chair and I think back, and I try to sort of reorganize this story about these people that I have got in my mind, and mix them up together first and then pair them all. And I think there are quite a few people out there that would be very, very happy to be together because they are such lovely people that they are. Emilia Teresa Harper. Teresa. It's Teresa because it's Czechoslovakian. 103, my goodness me. 3 is my lucky number. I have always been lucky. I've never been unlucky, touch wood. Oh, there's wood underneath there. I was in Czechoslovakia when I was a young girl, and I was living with my grandparents because my father was a prisoner of war. We came over to England to be with our father when he was released from the war. Everything makes me happy. I love talking to people. I like doing things. I like going out shopping. Once I go out shopping, I don't want to come back.
I want to be her friend.
I don't think there is anything that I really need to do, because I've done practically everything that I ever wanted to do in the past. I've got beautiful memories, you know. I can live happily forever after because of my lovely memories.
Do you know Sri Lanka?
Before we go into that part, I think I'm so much of a believer in that, like, to do the things that you really want to be doing now, because none of us knows how long we have on this earth or what could happen tomorrow. So doing things like I had a bucket list where I really wanted to go paraglide. No, well, yeah, that's that too. I haven't done that yet. I want to go paragliding, but I really wanted to go on a hot air balloon. And one day I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I want to go on a hot air balloon. I bought the ticket. I went and I did it. And that feeling, being inside of that hot air balloon and like looking over at everything and these hills and the sunrise, and it's just like, it just takes your breath away, and you're like, I'm so grateful to be alive, to be experiencing something like this. And that memory, looking back on that memory with the person I went as well, it was like such a bonding moment of like, I can't believe we did that. And she was really scared of heights too, so it was even more beautiful that she agreed to go with me. Or like the time that I went to the jungle and saw Machu Picchu, and I saw such beautiful, like, expansive things, and like, yes, being in the jungle was a little bit scary. Like, there was spiders. I'm not a bug girl. But just still, and we had to, like, we went down this river that was like 5 hours long in the middle of the nighttime. Scary stuff, guys, scary stuff. But I would never take it back, because just that adventure, just that doing something that so many people have never gotten the chance to do, and like seizing the moment, seizing that opportunity where someone said, hey, I have this opportunity, if you want to come, you should come. Like, heck yeah, man, heck yeah. Make those memories, because then maybe one day you'll be 103 years old talking to somebody, telling them about how they should live their lives fully and make memories. Such different times. This is why I love to hear people's stories. I used to go to these writing clubs, and one of them was held at the senior center, and it was just a bunch of older people, and I was the youngest person there, and I loved hearing their stories. I think at that time I was probably only like 21 or maybe 20, and yeah, like, these people were in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and like, I loved hearing about their lives and about what they had learned from their lives, and what they had learned, and what lessons, and what it's like to have children, and what it's like to get married and to like be with someone for 30 years, you know? So it's like, it's really cool to learn from older people, I think. A lot of my friends are much older than me. I don't really have a lot of friends my age, really.
I don't have many failures. If I'm making a cake and it fails, it becomes a pudding.
Oh, my marriage was absolutely wonderful, heavenly, heavenly, heavenly. I lived with him from the age of 16 until he died at I think it was over 70. I wanted to marry a handsome man and a man with good manners, and I had both.
We did have problems, but we got through them. And I think nowadays people give up too easily.
I'm always optimistic, and she was always pessimistic, so we got on very well together.
Make the most of it, because especially if it's the first love, there's nothing like it. When I had my first children, I had twins, but unfortunately I lost the twins, and that was the most tragic moment in my life. But I had a daughter, and I enjoyed her company very much indeed, loved her immensely. When I lost my first baby, it was one of the twins went, I was devastated. Eventually, of course, you get used to it, because life goes on regardless. You get healed, and what you never forget. So, it's really wonderful to have something left behind, even if they are no longer here. They're there, they're in your mind, they're in your air, all around you. It's really a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I think a lot of my children, even today, after all these years. I can still sit here and I can talk to them, and as if they were still alive. When people pass this way, they hear me talking to myself. They think I'm crackers, but I'm not crackers. I'm only just thinking about my children. Any regrets? None. None whatever. I can tell you right from my heart. None whatever.
If I'd have been more attentive at school in my early life, I'd have studied more and harder. And
I recommend anybody, if they find the right husband, to marry. Not just live together, marry. Be closer and closer. It seems to me as if you are happily married and happily living, that is the finest remedy for all ills, because everything is in perfect harmony.
Let's do one more. This one.
We'll keep this quick. We're making breakfast without compromising to reality. Lunches you dream about in composable
Let's see, this one looked really interesting. So this is called A 97-Year-Old Philosopher Faces His Own Death. I love philosophy. I love thinking outside of the box and thinking of thinking in deeper layers of what you would first think, and then thinking maybe it's a little bit different than what I actually am thinking right now. I don't know how to describe. Anyways, let's see. This was only uploaded 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, about 2 years ago. Let's see.
It's very difficult for people who have not reached a state of old age, whatever that is. Very difficult for them to understand the psychology of it, what is going on in the person. I taught philosophy in the University of California about 40 years, I guess. As a young philosopher, I started out going deeply into psychoanalysis. I have published books on self-deception and Chinese philosophy, and I also was working in the theory of ethics and the law, problems of responsibility, in particular in connection with alcoholism and drug addiction. And I also wrote a book about death. And that was about 20 years ago. At a certain point, there's nothing. So it's not rational to be afraid of death. I now think that is not a good statement. Because I think it's important to figure out why it is then that people are afraid of death. Why am I concerned about it? My argument was there's no good reason for it. My sense of realism tells me, well, no good reason or not, it is something that haunts me, the idea of dying soon. I often walk around the house and I ask myself, often out loud, what is the point of it all?
So I definitely think about things like that all the time. Like, what is the point of life? But not in like a nihilistic, like, kind of way. More of an introspective thinking about each step that you take. Thinking about why do you do the things you do? Is this actually the life I want to leave behind? Is this actually what I want to be doing with the time that I have here? All these introspective questions, and not in an anxious manner, but more like just trying to figure out what is the meaning of a meaningful life, what is the meaning of a fulfilled and happy life, and how can I get the most out of it while I can, when I can.
I do find it very interesting to try to figure it out. What's going on? And I spent a lot of my life thinking about such issues. But it's hard. I don't know. I just usually just drop the subject.
Why doesn't every home in the U.S. have solar panels? The number one reason is not about sunlight or weather or even politics.
What is the point of it all? I think I ask the question with the sense that there isn't any good answer. It's a kind of ironic question. I think the answer may be the silent answer, may be there is no point. I would say that loneliness and absence is the absolute part of my life. And that has to do with my wife. We were very close. We were married for probably around 70 years. And that is another dimension of this whole situation that I am preoccupied with at times. Because she's gone, and she has been for several years, and I feel that a part of me is gone. As I sit out now on my deck of the house, I look at the trees blowing a little in the breeze, and I've seen them innumerable times. But somehow seeing the trees this time is a transcendent experience. I see how marvelous it is. And I think to myself, I've had these here all along, but have I really appreciated them? And the fact is that I have not, until now. And in a way, it makes the fact of death even more difficult to accept. It just brings tears to my eyes. I've written books on a number of other topics, and in each case I felt that I had solved the problem. But this is not resolvable. It's not just a theoretical question for me, which so many things can be. It's the one thing that is central to my existence that I have tried to come to terms with and have failed.
Don't get to the end of your life and think to yourself, I've never actually looked at the trees. I've never actually looked out on this expansive world from a hot air balloon and thought to myself, this is the greatest time to be alive. This is the greatest moment anybody has ever experienced at this specific moment that I've been able to look at through my own eyes. Yes, so my book deals a lot with topics of death and impermanence and changes in life and loss and suffering, and the whole reason I went on like a spiritual journey was because I wanted to really understand what happens in the afterlife, because I too was very afraid of death, this thing that happens to every single one of us. And along my journey I met like psychics and mediums and got to learn about so many ideas and see evidence of people bringing through like facts of being able to tap into some kind of energy field and bring that information to people here on Earth. And like seeing that there are studies of like being able to go into altered states of consciousness and just understanding these different levels of psychology and like what is consciousness. And like along that journey, it really helped me come to terms with accepting that death is inevitable and not something to be afraid of, and that we don't end when our physical body ends, and that the physical body is separate from the consciousness. And I feel like my journey brought a lot of solace to me, and not just the fact that I kind of learned about the afterlife, but also for the fact that I got to see and do so many beautiful things, and I got to like experience so much beauty in the world, and like meet so many beautiful people, and like be so grateful that I got to live the life that I got to live, you know? I cry a lot. And then like just to be into contact with such beautiful people and like know that I touched somebody's life, and to know that like my life mattered here in this world, and that I left something behind that meant something to me. That was really why I wanted to write the book, and to actually make something solid that could stay here from when I leave this world. And the big point is just, the big point of the book was to enjoy your journey, to do the things you're wanting to do, to go skydiving, go take a chance and tell the person that you really like that you like them. And even if it doesn't work out, at least you can get to 97 years old and say, I took those chances. I married the woman that I was in love with, and I loved her until she was no longer here anymore. Oh my God. I got up on a stage and I was a rock star for a night. Really living life to its fullest. And doing the work that you're wanting to be doing, making videos, even if nobody's watching it in that moment. Making music because you love to make music. And leaving your mark on this world in the best way that you know how. And becoming a better person, and learning about life, and learning about philosophy, and bringing something beautiful into the world. So that is what I'm leaving behind with you here today. I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Alexis, for anybody who doesn't know. You can find me on Instagram at Vibrate to Create. If you want to learn more about the book, you can visit my website at www.vibratetoCreate.com, or you can search the name on Amazon or wherever you buy books. Like I said, the links are all in the description below. The links to the videos, to my book, to merch, to my journals that I have. So that's all down there. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have a good day. If you have any comments, questions, things you'd like for me to react to next, you can leave those down in the comments below, and I would appreciate it. I would love that, for you to be a part of this journey, my journey. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I cry so much. I cry. It's okay to cry, guys.